Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to talk to you about my 2022 KLR upgrades and kind of what I consider the necessity of upgrades, and which items I chose, which aren't, it's not a whole lot, just a couple of small little things you got to do, and how they've been performing for me. So the biggest flaw with these are going to be down here at your feet. So the first thing is the J&S Engineering. I put the J&S Engineering foot peg mounts on here. If you look on the other side here, you'll see there's a rubber piece right down here, and this rubber piece causes, even if you take off the crappy foot pegs that are on the KLR, it causes it to be real spongy and rubbery. So this right here solves that problem. And then these are just Amazon specials, 25 bucks on Amazon. I don't have a spring on them yet, but that's something I'll put on later. But it's just a lot more grippy. Now you do have to lower so this lowers everything down just about that much. You do have to lower your rear brake. And I wanted to go a little bit lower. It actually will go, but right here, this actuator will turn on it will trip the rear brake light. So that's the downfall. So I have to get a longer spring if I want to put this all the way down. You can see I've got a little bit of play right here. I can go down maybe, I don't know, maybe centimeter, if that. And so it makes a big difference. With these on, my combat boots on, it's okay. It's perfect. But with my ADV boots on, my Alpine Star Corzall boots on, I wish it was down just a little further, because it's harder to kind of, pull your ankle up in those because they're so stiff. Maybe when they break in, it'll be better. Next thing I did was put on the aluminum tusk gear shifter. So, well, it doesn't go up anymore because you can't go up, because even the factory one or this one here will hit the case right here, but it does go from about where my finger is out, probably about an inch out. So it does make a decent amount of difference. So those are the two big things that I would change. You could put crash bars and other stuff on here. There's all kinds of accessories you can put on, but those are the ones that I would say you kind of have to change. The mirrors, people complain about the mirrors, but the mirrors I think are just fine. So I think I'm also going to put the Happy Trails the stand on there, the level stand. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head. I just had a brain fart. But this kickstand is fine, but it tilts it over so far. I mean, so far. It's kind of crazy. In fact, it's so far that you almost have to get on from the opposite side here, which is kind of how law enforcement actually does it. Oh. And then the other thing that I've noticed with the KLR, and I'm sure the bikes do this, when I go to start it, if I've left it in gear, it wants to lurch forward sometimes. So I don't know if it's all KLRs or just mine, but it's just one of the things I've noticed. I only got 96 miles on it, but I've enjoyed it immensely. I haven't ridden for 15 years prior to this, and this is a good bike that will kind of get you back into the swing of things. I'm still kind of learning the friction zone as Moto Man or Motorhead Man or whatever it is. The guy that teaches the motorcycle classes. If you watch any of his YouTube videos, it's all about the friction zone while you're turning, keeping it above 5 miles an hour, keep you from dropping your bike, and and practicing and stuff like that. So it is kind of like riding a bike, like the old saying says. It's coming right back to me. I feel comfortable on the bike now. I've only got, again, I picked it up, it had 5 or 8 miles on it, 5 or 7 miles, something like that, and I've got 96 miles. So it's one of those things to where you have to really practice your skills. It doesn't matter if you've been riding for 20 years or 2 years, you have to practice your skills if you want to get better. So that's one of the things that I try to do. I can't ride as much as I like because I do have a newborn, and I'm a kind of a full-time, I'm retired military, my wife is active duty, and I'm a full-time stay-at-home dad with my 4-month-old. So even though I'd like to get out more, right now it's just kind of hard. I can only really get out on days that she's off, and kind of quick trips, but that's fine. I'm in no huge hurry, but the type of riding I'll be able to do here in Hawaii, we're here for 3 years. We got about 2.5 years, a little under, actually almost closer to 2 years left now. We've almost been here a year. The riding that we're doing here will give me a chance to really feel more comfortable with the bike and to be able to start riding into more ADV type of situations. So hopefully we get Alaska next. Probably won't, but even if we get Fort Irwin next, which is where we came from, that's not too bad. The Mojave Desert, I don't mind that area at all. So I do have RAM mount on here for my phone. I was going to get the quad lock, and you know, I said, well, I'm not going to get the quad lock just because they're stalking me on social media and they are bombarding me with advertisements. But mainly I was going to get it for the vibration dampening because it can run the cameras on these phones. And so this is the RAM mount with the long, and then I've got a RAM mount up front, the ball up front, where I've got my 360 GoPro Max mounted up there. I do want to get another ball, put it right here on each side, and then one or two in the back, so I can have some mounting options for, you know, whatever I want to do, different things. And probably not going to get the quad lock. I have insurance both through USAA for military housing, so we have renter's insurance through USAA, and then also I have insurance through Verizon. So if something happens and the camera jacks up, then I'll just, you know, do an insurance claim. It's a nice, beautiful day here. Little rain. It's just kind of the rainy season. There are a couple different rainy seasons. Toward the fall is a little bit rainy, and then in the spring it's a little rainy here. Constant winds and rain almost every day. But it's a nice 80 degrees. So I do have my. So I just got a new Fox jacket in for this. The other jackets I've been wearing has been too hot. I've got the Alpine Stars. I can't remember the name of it. I'll put it on the screen here. But anyway, that, and I've got the LWK, the cheap Amazon ones, and I don't know. They're just a little too warm for me. So I've got this Fox. Is it a Titan? I don't know. I'll put it on the screen too, and it's working out really well. The XD4 helmet is also working out really well. And then now I've kind of got my mic dialed in. I'm running a Sony mic now. That Rode mic just really wasn't cutting it. It's a good mic. It's just too bassy and kind of sensitive. And this Rode mic this Sony mic is just a little bit better. It's the stereo mic. And in my testing, it just sounds a bit better in the wind, and I don't have to do as much processing. Although I still do some processing to take out some of that lower frequency wind noise that you'll hear. So it's all about what you kind of have time for and what you're kind of playing with. As far as the adventure model goes on the KLR, I'm glad I got the adventure model. You know, initially I was kind of like, well, I'm going to take all this crap off, but you know what? For commuting around town, which is what I'm doing right now, the panniers that came with it, you know, they're just fine. And really, I have enough dry bags I can put on the back of this thing to where I have 110 liters worth of dry bags that will fit perfectly on the back of this thing. So I mean, I wouldn't need anything, especially now. I don't need anything more than that. So this shifter, though, this shifter makes a big difference. This Tusk shifter, and there are a couple other brands out there, you know. So I highly recommend switching out this shifter because it's just too short. You know, it's one of those things where the KLR has been out for 30 years, and they still have these little picky little issues that you think they would have ironed out by now, especially when they redesigned it and put EFI and, you know, took a couple year break. That would have been when they could have had plenty of time to make these small design changes. But again, it's a budget bike, so, you know, there's that too. I had the Instant 360 Go expandable, not the new one, but the Gen 1 expandable baton with the Max, so I can put it way up there if I wanted to. But it's the first time I've used this Max in forever. I've had it forever since they came out, and I thought, well, I guess I have a good reason to use it now. It's just been sitting collecting dust. So I was going to run a second GoPro. I have a Hero 9 with the Volta grip I was going to put down here on the handlebars. I thought, you know what, if let me try see how long these batteries will last on this 360, and if it can kind of, you can also do the hero mode on it as well, where it's not a 360 camera, it's just a regular. It's not 4K, I think it's 2.7K is the highest resolution it goes to for hero mode, and then 5.3K is the highest resolution in 360, and so depending on how you zoom in or zoom out, that's how that looks. But I'm going to try this setup, play around with the different couple setups, get this dialed in so I can you know, do some motor adventure over the long term with it. Yeah, this Fox jacket, it's basically just kind of a mesh shirt with a whole bunch of pads on it. Chest, back, shoulders, elbows, forearms. Huge difference. Huge, massive difference. I kind of wish this clutch release would be more in the center of the release. It's more toward the end of the release. That's one of the things I'm not a huge fan of. It's hard to kind of feather it. I mean, you can feather it, you know, with no issues whatsoever, but it's kind of semi-hard to feather it sometimes because it's so far out there. I haven't really figured out exactly where it's going to kick in at. It'll just come with time, but I'm still not as comfortable in the clutch as I would like to be. Alright, so got my check for $314.14 for overcharging me, and I went in and asked him, hey, if I want to buy this KLX 300, they have a Supermoto and a regular 300 for my wife, would you do MSRP plus $1,300, not including TT&L? That's going to be $650 for shipping and $650 for dealer prep, and he pretty much agreed to it, gave me a printout. So if we do want to do that, it's something that we'll consider. Now we're going to run and get a haircut and a real job. Good, good. This is closed. So I'm just now getting back home, and with the rain I wasn't able to plug my mic in, and then when I left Cycle City I also forgot to plug in my mic. So I appreciate you watching. This was just kind of a little update on some of the mods that I've done, and just kind of me kind of rambling. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch the content that I make. More KLR content to come, some more mods are going to come, and a whole bunch of different content also coming to the channel that's not KLR related. So if you want to subscribe, go ahead. If not, yeah, whatever. You know, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If not, then whatever. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.